Abby, come on back. Have a seat. So, have you ever been to therapy before?
I have. It's been like 6 years.
Okay. Do you remember the limits of confidentiality?
A little.
Alright, well, I'll just refresh your memory really quick. So everything that we talk about in here stays between me and you. I want you to feel comfortable to be as open as you're comfortable being. The only way I would have to break that confidentiality is if you disclose that you would intend to kill yourself or somebody else, or if there's any child or elderly abuse or neglect at all.
Okay.
Any questions? No. Okay. Well then, with that, we can get started. So, what brings you in today?
I think my relationship issues, past relationships, are a bit confusing, and like I repeat patterns with my exes and getting into very similar relationships. And I just kind of want to break that cycle after this last relationship. So, what I've noticed is I tend to date, I think they're narcissists, and then it doesn't show itself. Like, they don't really come out as narcissists until, it takes a while. And then, after I'm invested and I love them and we have these plans, then it gets, worse. And I'm like, all right, I have to get out of this relationship now. And after this last breakup, which was really bad, I just want to not have to go through that again and kind of figure out what's going on.
No, it's not easy being in a relationship that you know you need to get out of. It's not easy breaking up with anybody. So what really makes you think that they're what kind of happens that they come off as narcissistic?
So with my ex, we have a really long history. It's been a 10-year history now, but it was mostly off more than on. And we first met when I was 14, and he broke my heart into pieces as you do as a teenager, but it was really cold and mean the way that he did it. But he was the first person I ever had feelings for, so then I would keep going back. He would keep coming back to me, and I would keep going back to him, in between relationships for short periods of time. And then the last time we were together was for 9 months, I guess, was the cutoff. And it was going well, really well. And then I knew he was bad with communication, so I would be careful about how I worded things or how I brought things up. And then we got into a fight because it was a little while ago now, so I need to re-remember it. But so we had plans on a Friday night, and it was Friday at 5 p.m. We were both getting off of work, and I was expecting him to come to my apartment as he always did. And he just texted me and was like, "Hey, I'm going down the shore. I'm gonna go hang out with Scoop for the weekend." He's his best friend, and I was just like, "Wait, what?" Because we hadn't really been having quality time together, and I told him I was really looking forward to our date and stuff like that for Friday night, and he just kind of rapidly changed it. And I got really upset, and I was trying to talk to him about why I was upset, but he just kept saying I'm taking him away from his friends. And I was like, it's not that, it's just how you worded it, and it really threw me off, and I just kind of wanted him to hear me.
Yeah.
But instead he was completely gaslighting. I'm familiar because of my past relationships, and he was completely gaslighting. And then he, instead of just coming over to talk about it before he went down the shore, he just drove down the shore and ignored me. So then he ignored me for 24 hours, and I was just I don't want to be in a relationship like this. You just completely blew me off, and he switched because he always wanted to be with me, and he always wanted to do everything together, and it was, I really needed quality time with him, and he wasn't understanding that. So I mean, I broke things off with him. But it was the gaslighting, and then looking back on the relationship, like, he was very obsessed with himself and talking about how hard he works when we would like work the same hours and I would go to school on top of that. But he like was obsessed with how hard he was working, and like he just never really complimented me ever. And trying to think what else he would do that would claim he's a narcissist.
I mean, just from the stuff that you said, it sounds like it was a frustrating relationship to be a part of, especially towards the end. But when you say he wasn't good with communication, do you mean like he's more sensitive to certain things, like he would take it the wrong way, or bad with communication in the way that like you would try to talk things out and he would want no part of it? Or a little bit of both?
I think he was bad with communication because he would think that there was nothing to communicate about, and he would gaslight like every time, and I knew that about him. So we barely ever got into fights because I would just not really communicate my feelings ever. But there wasn't that much to communicate about until we had that bad argument. Like, it was great until it was really bad.
Yeah, so it sounds like with him, it's either really, really good, but when it's bad, like, it's bad. Like, it's not minor.
Yeah.
And for me, I would kind of consider that a little bit of a red flag because, and especially, like, with you just wanting him to hear you out and hear about your feelings, like, you just wanted to talk about it. It's like, okay, like, that's fine, you can go down the shore, but, like, I just want you to hear me out on this and understand where I'm coming from.
Exactly.
And it's hard to do that with somebody that gaslights all the time. They're like, okay, well, like, this is what I'm doing instead. We'll do something next week. And not having, like, the quality time together, like, that damages a relationship over time. And you need to do, like, certain things in order to, like, keep the flame, for lack of better words, like, keep the flame burning. And it just seems like with like the whole narcissistic thing, it seems like he was really only concerned about him and like not listening to like what you have to say. Now, in the past, has it been like the same? Like, has it always ended the same way, or was this the first time?
This was the first time that it got bad. I think I've always known deep down that he was like this, and I would end things with him. I think when I would notice a bit of narcissism and him just not complimenting me ever, and I would be like, all right, this isn't what I want. But then before we started this past relationship, we got together and we were both like, we love each other, we want this to work, like, let's talk about what went wrong in the past. And we did talk about everything. And it, like I said, it was good for 9 months, but then it just crashed and burned.
Yeah. Well, being able to sit down and talk to each other about what went wrong before is something that a lot of couples don't do. So it's really important that you guys did that. That way you had like an understanding of what both of you were expecting. It just seems like he didn't really keep up his end. And with complimenting, it's just nice to hear it sometimes, like to have the reassurance that like things are still going good. Now, when he came home from the shore, is that when you broke it off, or did you break it off that day?
I was quick to jump the gun, and I broke it off because it was just like it was a toxic situation, and I was definitely guilty in that situation as well. Looking back, like I shouldn't have broken everything off so fast, but now I think it was the right decision. So when he came back from the shore, so that was a Friday night. Saturday, I didn't hear from him at all. And I had called him like 10 times throughout the day. I think finally he answered and he was like, "What?" Like I was on the beach all day. And I was like, I was crying all night long and crying all day. I haven't slept, I haven't eaten, and you were just like able to go on the beach and act like I don't exist. And I was like, come talk to me about this. Like, let's just talk through it. And he was like, no, like I have this. And then we eventually did get together and talk about things, but it was with me persisting and me constantly trying and him being like, I have this, I don't want to do this, I have this. And we got together and talked about things, and I realized that like it was the right decision, but I don't know. I do question it sometimes because it was like really abrupt and everything, but
So, if I'm understanding correctly, it kind of just seems like you felt like it was a one-sided thing. Like it wasn't 50-50.
Yeah.
Like you were the one trying to talk through it. Like you didn't want to just automatically call it quits. Like you wanted to give the relationship as a whole like the benefit of the doubt. Like is there something bothering you that made you just change your plans? Like you really wanted to understand him and he just doesn't seem like it just didn't seem like he was able to have that conversation with you. Now, have you heard anything from him since this?
So this happened in June, and I mean we did try to work things out for like a month and a half after this happened. I was just like missing him, and we do have like a really long history, and we have all these coincidences. And like I said, when we were together, it was really good, and our lives like fit perfectly together. And we did try to get back together, and I just don't even like talking about it. But basically, he was trying to talk to me, and like everything was fine. We were trying to get back together, and I was friends with his stepmom on Facebook, and he had his brother's wedding. This was middle of July, so like July 14th that weekend. He had his brother's wedding, which I had helped his family plan, and he took the girl that he was with before me to the wedding, like while he was actively trying to get back together with me, and his stepmom posted a picture of it on Facebook, and it was a mess, and like his stepmom knows who he is, and she is in the psychological field, so she like understands him and why he is the way that he is, and she was calling me like 2 times a week trying to get us to get back together. And
after this happened with the wedding?
Before.
Okay.
So before like a month and a half, she was calling me like 2 times a week trying to get us to get back together when he wasn't really trying. And then I saw that picture, so that was just kind of like, I'm done, and this is done, and I need to move on.
Totally understandable. I mean, seeing that probably totally betrayed any trust that you were building back up with him.
Yeah, it was like a bullet hit me when I saw that.
Oh yeah, that's like gut-wrenching to see. It must have been really difficult to deal with that. I'm really sorry about that. So ever since you saw that, communication has just been cut?
Yeah, I mean, he reached out to me once and made a joke about like, so he ordered takeout and it was my name under his phone number, and I just completely blew it off. I was like, haha. And,
yeah,
cause
like,
yeah, and then that was it.
Yeah.
So.
It's just really disappointing because it seemed like things were getting better, and then of course something popped up, and
yeah, he's definitely like a trip. And I think I just need to move on. And it's hard because he's been in the back of my head for the past 10 years, and now it's just done, and I need to be okay with that. And I think him being in the back of my head has become like a habit because it's been 10 years, and I just want to get him like out of the back of my head, which I know will take a long time, but that's like my biggest goal right now.
Well, it's good that you at least have a goal in mind coming into like a therapy environment. 10 years is a lot of history, so I think that's why it's always been kind of easy to go back to each other. It's because you know each other, you're comfortable with each other. There's no like awkward beginning, like meeting family. It's just it's easy to go back. But sometimes the best things in life are going to start complicated. And I think you are definitely in the right mindset of wanting to get away from the easy stuff with him because, well, especially with how it just ended, the trust is just kind of gone with that. What have you been doing? Have you been doing like anything specific, like coping mechanisms, maybe to kind of start, or?
I do have a yoga practice, and that was challenging for me when we first broke up because I would like just get really sad every time I would quiet my mind. So for a while, I just was doing anything I could to not quiet my mind, like constantly listening to music or listening to podcasts. But then I realized I wanted to break the cycle, so I kind of just started like feeling through my pain when it would come up. So I started like to do yoga and like push through it when I would be sad. But I do yoga. Like I'll go to the gym. I listen to a lot of music, and that's basically like all I have time for.
I mean, it sounds like you're really focusing on yourself right now, which is great. And I think, you're very self-aware of your feelings, which I think is important to push through them because that's the only way you're going to get out
It's challenging, but it needs to be done.
Oh, absolutely. Instead of just kind of trying to ignore them and like tell yourself, oh, they'll just go away eventually. But I think feeling it out and going through the cycle of officially just being done with it, one day you're going to wake up and it's going to be like a breath of fresh air. And that's when you'll know, like, you're ready, like, you're better off without him, and you'll really believe that. So, like, what kind of music do you listen to?
It depends on my mood, or, like, we feel like monthly music moods. Right now, it's a lot of, so this band Stick Figure, it's like reggae. They just came out with a new album, and it's like on repeat. It's just like super relaxing, and Stick Figure was actually both of our favorite, like one of our favorite bands, me and my ex, and I kind of powered through like that reminding me of him, and now it just kind of makes me happy, which is an accomplishment. It's like a minor one, but
no, yeah, absolutely.
That's on repeat. It's mostly just happy music. I'm not gonna like listen to sad music. Just anything that'll keep me happy.
Well, it's good. Like music is kind of like your little escape from everything. So like, is this the main thing that's been bothering you? Like, is there anything else going on?
This is definitely my main stressor. I just, while this was happening, was also transitioning job-wise, and I was questioning the transition to a new job, and when this happened, I was like, went a little crazy, and I was like, everything in my life needs to change right now, and I did change to a different job, and I think it was a really good decision too, and because I was having this like 30-minute through traffic commute, 9 to 5, like 2 times a day, and now I work like, I make my own hours, and it's in my field, so it's pretty nice.
Seems like it's a little more laid back, and it's one less thing to really
yeah.
stress about having to sit in traffic after a long day.
Exactly. So that was a main stressor, but I've kind of settled that now. But
Okay.
yeah, that's my biggest concern is my relationship history.
And just kind of getting out of the same pattern.
Exactly. Yeah, because
Okay.
it's just been the same type of person that I've been dating
Yeah.
since I've been of age to date.
Mm-hmm.
It's frustrating.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we can definitely keep your goal just to get out of that pattern. And if anything else comes up, we can always talk about it next session. If you meet somebody new, we can talk about that. We can really talk about anything you want in here. It's totally open as long as you're comfortable.
Yeah.
So if that's all we have to talk about, we can end the session now. But is there anything that I could do better to help you better, or?
No, I think I feel better talking to you. And I don't think there's anything that you could improve on. I think it was great.
Okay, great. Then I guess I'll see you next week.
Yeah, I'll
Okay.
see ya.